is the final contract for the resolution.
The meeting's not is going to go a
This is
lot
the actual.
quicker.
Just a draft.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to City Council meeting of January the 26th. We're happy to have Henry Bellinome with us this evening, and we'll introduce him a little more here lately in a few minutes. Excuse me. Madam Clerk, would you read the roll call, please?
Mr. Cannell.
Here.
Mr. Shiland.
Present.
Mr. Moore. Ms. Pace-Snook.
Present.
Ms. Reclue. Mr. Shiverdecker.
Here.
Mr. Vaughn.
Here.
And Mr. West.
You don't want to forget our guest down here.
And Mr. Bellinome. We have 5 council members present and 3 absent.
Okay, very good. If you'd rise with me, Pastor Bruce Williamson is with us this evening. He'll lead us in the invocation. Thank you, Pastor.
Yes, sir. Privilege. Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful that we've had this blessed day to be in your presence, to do our work, and to live in the community that we share. All of this means so much to us, where we can raise our families and educate them and have the kind of life that we're able to live. That being prayed, I want to be certain and faithful to pray for our neighbors from North Carolina all the way through New England, who are still in recovery mode, trying to open up streets and highways and airports and subways. And we pray, Lord, for the thousands upon thousands of folks that are working towards that end. Also, from the floods of December along the Mississippi River all the way to New Orleans, folks are still trying to recover their homes and properties. We pray for that recovery. We ask you to continue to bless our community as we move forward. January is nearly accomplished, and we're grateful for your care for our community. I want to pray, Lord, for all of those that serve this city at every level, every boot on the ground that makes our life worth living. And I do want to pray for the safety of our police officers and firefighters and all those who come to our aid and care and comfort in time of need. I pray, Lord, for Gabriel Polston, for Mayor Benton, Chief Myers, Mr. Chiland, Mr. and Mrs. Reclue, Mrs. Bush-Jost, and all other folks that are connected to our city families. We ask your blessings and perpetual care for them. For this session tonight and all that will be discussed and the larger community who is here to share, I pray for your grace and blessings to lead this meeting, and all decisions be approved first by you to glorify God and bless this community we serve. We pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Very good. I believe Mr. Bellinome brought along Scott Meislin with him this evening. And Scott, would you like to address the council and tell us a little bit about Henry?
Yes, thank you. We've been doing this since March 10th of 2015, and he goes around the entire county of Callaway, promoting shop local and small businesses, and broadcasts that to a larger audience using Facebook, Instagram, and a website. He has, as of today, 967 likes on Facebook, so you know, there's 30 just from India. It's not just Missouri people looking at him, over 40 from England. So he's getting quite a bit of attention, and it's just been a great experience. And on March 10th, the 1-year anniversary, we're having his 151st birthday at the County Courthouse Square. We're going to give out cupcakes that Minson Moore is making for us. It's going to have the Callaway County flag on them, and just hand them out for free. And thank all of you for letting us into your businesses and into the City Council. And thank you, and we hope to continue to promote the county and let other people know that we have a great city of Fulton and great businesses to come and visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the date that you're going to do the
That
birthday?
is March 10th.
March the 10th.
Yep.
Okay.
The county commissioners were nice enough to let us use a part of their square, and in his backstory, he was born in the well that used to face Court Street on the county square.
What time is that?
We're going to be there from 11 a.m. to 12:30, and hope that just any of the business owners, because he's been up and down the Brick District, and this is his home, and hope that the business owners come on down and just grab a free cupcake, get a selfie with him, or what have you, and you're all invited, and hopefully you guys can come on up from your busy schedules. And we've been to a lot of places around the county, and hope to continue to do that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you and Henry coming to the meeting. Thank you very much.
Do you have enough pictures?
Oh, yes, I took a couple walking back and sitting.
All right.
At the beginning of each council meeting, we've set aside a time for anyone who has a concern within the city who would like to address the council about that concern. So at this time, is there anyone present who would like to come forward and address the council about any concern they have? We just ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes, and the clerk will take it. Sure. Good evening, Ms. Gray. You know the routine. Yes, okay.
The first thing I would like to do is thank our street department for dealing with this last storm we had, doing the best that they could do. I think they did a good job.
Thank you very much.
My next concern is, we're talking about $300,000 to purchase a fire truck. Do we have a committee to do that? We have a committee that said, can I burn leaves or not? You don't need a committee for that, but you do need a committee for buying a fire truck. I think your acting fire chief, and we know that the city administrator would be there, but I was thinking, should we have a certified mechanic or somebody included in this search? And then, talking about these people coming in to rejuvenate Fulton, we have 2 wonderful colleges here. And I am connected with William Woods. There are classes that would love to come in and work up a game plan for you so you wouldn't have to hire somebody to come in and rejuvenate. You're getting the young people's opinion. It's not going to cost you a portion of this $30,000 or $2,000 every other year. So anyway, that was just some ideas that I wanted to throw out there. And my opinion on burning leaves, nah, it's not a good idea. Too many young people have allergies. We don't need it. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else have any concerns they'd like to express or address the council about? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll move on then. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the council minutes from December 15th. They were included in your packet. Are there any addendum or corrections to the minutes? And if not,
Motion to approve.
motion for approval.
Second.
Very good. I have a motion and a second for approval of December 15th council minutes. Any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Again, likewise, in your council packet was the minutes from the January 12th meeting. And are there any addendums or corrections to those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the January 12 minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Thank you. Very good. Also included in your packet was the financial reports for the months of November and December, and Ms. Hoslag is with us this evening, and she'll walk us through them. Thank you, Kathy.
I'll just go straight to December since the year-to-date will encompass November also. And I'll just touch on the high points and then I can answer any questions. We have 11 months of sales tax recorded and we are down 2.6% from the same period last year. So we still have 1 month that I've not received a notice on yet. And I'll let you know when that comes in so you can see how we end up the year. In December, we received our annual farmland rent on both the Yato Farm, which is the property that was originally purchased for the solid waste, and on the airport. So altogether, one of them was $26,000 and the other one was $22,000. We made the golf course semi-annual interest payment, $5,300. We have 1 more payment left, June the 1st of next year, and then we'll be done. So,
June 1st of this year.
June the 1st of next year.
Next
We'll be
year?
at-
I
yeah.
thought it was this year.
No, next year. Well, this year, 2016, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
My mind's still on December 15th.
I started out, I believe I
Yeah,
understood.
I'm still working in December. And it will be a principal and interest payment.
And that'll be it.
That'll
We
be
can have
it.
a party.
And then we're gonna have a party and we're gonna burn the mortgage.
Right.
Okay? Probably one of the biggest things in December was, and I think we all owe a thank you to Callaway County. I first talked to Gary Youngerman, and he was on board, and I contacted Pam Astruck, the county collector, because the traditional course of events is they collect the taxes for us, so they receive a big tax payment in December, and they ACH it into the city's bank account within the first week of January. But I really wanted to wrap up the final developer distribution to Dollar General. So we made the final payment in December, which means that the TIF will no longer cease to exist, both TIF 1 and 2. And all that remains to be done is to reimburse the county for the excess tax money. And they can then allocate it to the various taxing entities.
So there's no longer a TIF out there.
We're done.
That's great.
Cool.
We're done.
Good.
Dollar General's been reimbursed. And to do that in 2015 was the cleanest way for both the county and for the city, because then we don't have to allocate any taxes, and, you know, it's just much cleaner that way.
And the TIF was set up to have run through 2023.
Right.
So we are very early.
It's, you know, but the TIF is done when the debts are paid. So I guess one way you could look at it, it was retired 8 years early. And that was due to Dollar General's growth.
Good.
I think there was some confusion when we paid the bonds off. There was an assumption on the part of some people that then the TIF would cease to exist. But because of the annual developer distribution, which was a part of the bond indenture, the TIF remained until that was satisfied, which it now is. So, and I would be glad to answer any questions that anybody has.
You got off light from that.
Pardon?
You got off light from that.
Oh, okay.
So that, the real celebration then should be on the school district's part, because all that
So that money
tax
went out
now will be given to the school district instead of going to paying.
to all the taxing entities, whether it be school district, city, county, ambulance district, granted the schools.
Thank you, I just wanted to make sure that was
You know, there was a lot of activities in town associated with the Dollar General project. You know, we wouldn't have the new overpass out there. We wouldn't have the building, we wouldn't have the jobs. You know, the city did make some investment in some public infrastructure to allow that to all happen, but definitely knowing what myself and I think what everybody else knows today, we would do it all again,
Oh, yeah.
knowing the way it turned out. Dollar General's been very good for the community.
excellent. Good report. Any questions for Ms. Kathy?
Move for acceptance.
Second. Very good. I have a motion and a second to accept the financials. Do we need to do them separate? Can we do them?
I believe we can do them together. Yes.
Okay. For November and December. Any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. Thank you, Kathy. The Burn Committee met this last week.
Steve's not here.
Steve's not here to give that report. Who else was here?
Mike was on that committee.
Mike was on that committee, so yeah, and he's not here. I was there. Now I'll try to remember what happened. But we chose a date, the latter part of October weekend to test this out. And we discussed a number of different ways of handling it. Price tags went all over the place. Most economical thing was we're checking on. Did you get a chance to do that, JC, today? Do you want to report on that? And Chief Kofelt came up with a proposed burning ordinance, and so we'll just, I don't know if that was included.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was, but again, we
The-
still have a lot of work, but go ahead.
The committee asked him to, when we were in the
That's
committee,
correct.
we asked him
Yeah.
to do that.
Okay, I'm
Come
sorry.
up with
And he did, it's not in the
Yeah.
packet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
But we will be getting that to you. JC checked with the DNR folks, clean air folks.
His name
And,
is Mr. Steve Boone. He's the unit chief over air. I did talk to him today, and they're, as long as the county doesn't have any ordinances against burning, nor does the city, they don't care. It's, they can burn, y'all can burn whatever you want.
okay.
Just for the record, I'm not for this.
Well, council at some point will vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying, for the record, I'm not.
Once of the proposed ordinance that comes up,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, Kevin.
Did you have questions?
I want you to kind of, they don't have a copy of your proposal. Why don't you kind of tell them a couple of things you highlighted in it?
We didn't want you burning close to the road, not in the street. Small piles. If you're going to burn leaves, burn them in small piles. It creates less smoke. We really recommend you use the compost dumpsters at each station. But if you if you choose to burn, just use small piles and away from the roadway.
This committee met late last week, and it really is they're just kind of throwing different bits and pieces of information to you. It'll be on the agenda sometime in the near future. The one other piece of information that we were requested to get at that meeting was the cost of more bags, the yard waste bags. We are out. And JC has called around. We'll give a little report on your beer bags.
About the cheapest ones we could find so far came from the company that we did originally with a grant we bought from. When we bought them, they were somewhere around, I have to charge 25 cents. That covered the bags and the shipping, getting them in here. Right now, it's going to be right around 40 cents, 38 to 40 cents per bag. So they have gone up a little bit, and that's for 20,000. So if you get more, it's still going to be a few cents cheaper, but price has gone up a little bit in the bag since we got them back in those.
And so we'll put this on the agenda, Courtney, for the next council meeting. These two guys will have a nice report, and then we'll probably have 2 to 3 separate motions to discuss and act on whether we want to do the open burning, whether you want to go ahead and have JC order probably 20,000 bags and make them available to the public as we have in the past. We won't be able to let them go for a quarter anymore, but probably 50 cents. Nice number.
Yeah, I think I buy mine right now at the Westlake.
And in the committee meeting, it was discussed a bit, just them 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, is that correct?
For the burning, right?
For the burning.
Yes.
And I did have some concern with just 2 days. I think there, could be a lot of people burning on those 2 days. I didn't know if we wanted to think about, extending those to maybe a week or 2 instead of everyone trying to burn on 2 days. Just something to think about.
Okay.
Okay, excellent.
Thank
Might
you.
have
Thank
10 calls instead of 100, huh? Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
If it's windy or dry, we will see some
Okay. So that'll be an ongoing discussion, and again, the newspaper's with us this evening. I would, if you mentioned it in your article, I would encourage folks, if they have a feeling one way or the other over this issue, to please contact their council person. Okay. And Taylor, would you want to get up and give us your name, say hey to the council? Taylor's new with us this evening, and whether or not she's going to have us full time or one time, but anyway, it's good to have you.
Hi everybody, I'm Taylor. I'm with the Fulton Sun. Graduated from MU with a degree in health and science reporting. So I'm just going to be here with you guys for the next little bit.
Okay. Excellent.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good to have you.
She's no longer with us.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I would like to see something in the paper so we can get better input from the public on it before we take a vote on it.
I'll go along with that.
Very good. We'll now move on to new business, and we are proposing a economic development and retail incentive. And Mr. Bruce Hackman is with us this evening. He told me his new handle a while ago. He's Economic Development Director. Is that right?
That's my new title, yes.
With the Callaway Chamber?
With the Callaway Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, very good.
Doing the same thing, just kind of changed title and the organization.
Well, you don't look any different.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I do. I'm getting older.
Pardon? They gave you any more money?
No. No. The money isn't important. The job is. Okay. Do you have in front of you the rider and everything? I think you have copies of those. If you don't, let me know. I have some extras. Okay, I'll kind of walk you through this. Yesterday, Brian Warren, as most of you know Brian Warren from Well Read Books, he and I both serve on kind of the Brick District Board and everything, and been a lot of discussions about ways that we can really target filling vacant spaces, increasing retail and everything in the community, which I know is a real priority of this council. And obviously, I was speaking strictly from the chamber standpoint. It is something that we're making a priority this year in 2016. You know, in the past, it's something that we've always kind of, the chamber and the FADC always kind of batted around, but we never really got it addressed in the way we should have, and that's changing now. But Brian and I were able to present this rider to the your city utility board yesterday, and I think the mayor and Bill were in there obviously, and they can tell you that the utility board approved this unanimously and recommended sending it on to the council tonight for your consideration. So I'll walk you through it. What it really is, it's the intention of it, this rider, is to increase sales tax revenue for the city and to create jobs. Any new business that comes in, I don't care if it's a mom and pop that goes into a space, there's at least 1 or 2 jobs that are created. So it's job creation and it's sales tax revenue. And what it is strictly for new sales tax generating businesses. And that is the key. We talked about different ways we can do some things for existing businesses, and it was hard to cross over that line. So we really just kind of stayed with new sales tax generating businesses that, one, either occupy an existing vacant space, all this of course within the city limits of Fulton, or 2, they move into a newly constructed retail or commercial space in the community. So it's one of those 2 things, and it's really going to serve as a marketing tool for us as we go out and really promote the retail opportunities and everything else, to be able to say, hey, we have a kind of a rebate program for new businesses on their electric, and again, this is just on electric usage, but it gives us something to really kind of market, and we hope that maybe in conjunction with this, we're also going to be talking to the landlords that own some of these vacant spaces, and getting them to maybe put some flesh or skin in the game as well. So that's just not the city doing something or the chamber or whatever. We want these building owners to have something in it as well. So we're going to be talking to them. Hopefully we can make some progress on that. So again, it's into a vacant space or a newly constructed space. And what it does is they have to, within 30 days of opening for business, they have to fill out the application that's on the back of your sheet, the second sheet there, the rebate application. They have to submit that to the city. And I'm just guessing somebody like Les is probably going to be the one that's going to look these over and make the determination if they qualify. Our office, or myself, the chamber, will help try to help administer this as well, and making sure that the business, once they're open, are meeting the criteria that they've agreed to do so in terms of job creation and hours, which I will get to in here in just a second. So basically what they would be billed for their electric, as usual, the full amount, and for Kathy's and the financial department, for their purposes, the people would still pay the full amount, and then this credit that they could be eligible for would then be rebated back to them, or what's the word I'm looking for, would be contributed back to them. So that's really kind of the way it would work. What they could be eligible for, if they are approved, the base deduction for a new business opening in one of those spaces would be 20% off their electric bill. If they create 1 to 5 jobs, that they would be eligible for another 5%. So at that point, they'd be up to 25%. If they create 6 or more jobs, they would get a 10% reduction, so it'd be a 30% at that point. And then, what we're also trying to do, as I said, to help increase sales tax revenue, we want to try to encourage more of our businesses, and particularly the new businesses that are opening, to stay open expanded hours, meaning on Saturday and Sunday. Right now, if you came downtown on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday, you're going to maybe find 1 or 2 businesses that are open. And the embarrassing part of that is if people are coming or traveling through, tourists and other things, and they come to downtown Fulton expecting to see, shopping opportunities or whatever, it's kind of embarrassing when they see 1 or 2 businesses open. So the bottom line is we're trying to give some more incentive to these businesses to keep extended hours, as I said here, a minimum of 12 hours over those 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, that they would agree to be open as well. And that's something, again, we're going to have to monitor. But if they do agree to do that and they follow through, that's another 10%. So a new business opening up that would agree to the extended hours, would create, let's say, at least 6 jobs or more, would be eligible for a 40% reduction on their electric bill for a period of 6 months, not to exceed 6 months. And those 6 months, as you know, for any new business, that's really a very capital-intensive time for a new business. They have so many costs up front, so the more relief we can get them, we're giving them more encouragement to, number one, just get into business, but we're going to help make it possible for them to sustain their business beyond that, obviously, that 6 months. So that's kind of really the gist of it. I'm trying to think if there are any questions you have regarding this. Again, it's just another tool in our toolbox. We specifically, we really want to try to do all we can to give people that are considering opening a new business in Fulton a good reason to do so. I mean, this is something that will help support them. The utility board was very supportive of this, I would say. They asked a lot of questions, but they felt like it was something that we're doing, moving in the right direction. So any questions you have?
The form will be marginally modified to reflect that it would be a rebate rather than an abatement. Just minor modifications.
I think it's a great program, and I just had concern about the administration of that's the cleanest way to do it on the accounting side for you, Kathy. And I would also encourage us to look at avenues to support existing businesses, give them some incentives to come up with some ideas for same type of weekend hours. And I know you've worked on that in the past, but
yeah, the existing business was a tough thing because you start to get into some very, very large commercial businesses that are already in, and if they created just a couple jobs and all of a sudden you're cutting their utility bill, it amounts to a lot.
Maybe there's a whole different kind of incentive program is what I'm thinking.
There could be, and I think this isn't something new. I mean, other communities have done this type thing. The great thing I think about it too is I think it pays for itself, because right now those vacant spaces aren't generating any sales tax. They're not generating any utilities for the city. I mean, there's no utilities being paid. So all those things are things you're going to start picking up when those spaces fill up. So I think it's a win-win, and I think in the long run, I think it'll pay for itself. I would say in a year from now, we need to look at this and review it and say, this is working the way we've got it. Maybe we want to open it up and make it more expanded to existing businesses at that time. But in a year, I think we'll have a better feel for that. Other questions?
No, I think it's a good idea.
And I mean, it's even going to come into play, as you know, the retail coach project that you signed the contract for. I think that's a great thing. You know, we're already planning kind of for their when they're going to come into town and how we're going to work with that. But I think that's going to be a great opportunity for us. Those people have contacts and relationships that we could never get in the doors of some of those companies. So I think it's a real plus for us, and the new businesses that come in under that can also be eligible for something like this. Other questions? If not,
Thank you.
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Do I have a motion for approval of this?
I'll make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
Very good, thank you. Have a motion and a second to approve this Retail Development Incentive Program. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
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 All those opposed, no. Very good, thank you very much. I think it's another, as Bruce says, tool in his bag, but it's also that maybe a carrot, so we'll see how it goes. Under new business, item B is Chief Myers wants to destroy some paperwork. You want to come up and talk about it, Chief?
Steve, you want that?
About every year or two, we ask the council to allow us to destroy some of the old accident reports and things of that nature that we don't use anymore, and by law we can destroy. Obviously, there's no felony cases or any cases that involve any drugs or anything like that we destroy. And we do this about every year, so.
What's the length that you're allowed to keep it?
It depends, everything's different. The traffic tickets, I think, we're required to keep them maybe 3 years or something like that, 2 to 3 years. Other than that, some of the stuff we have to keep forever, the felonies, homicides, I think any Class A felony we can never destroy because the homicide's never closed. Actually, a lot of people hear on TV that they've closed the case. Well, technically, a homicide case never closed. So some of those cases we'll have forever, and we've got back from 50s probably now. But everything else can be destroyed at some point in time. It's a different.
Chipper shredder, you can shred this stuff, or you can burn it, or?
No, we have Syntex or something like that, company out of Jeff City. We actually go out with them and watch it go into the shredder.
Well, I'm recommending approval.
Second.
Very good. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the request by Chief Meyer to destroy some documents. Any further discussion of that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 9 is a new attempt to provide for the council time to discuss matters of concern and et cetera, so we have a place within our agenda to be able to do that. So at this time, if there's any items that you'd like to bring forward or question, or please do so.
I have a question, I think maybe for JC. It's my understanding we've sent the ladder truck out for repair. I was just wondering how that was coming along or going. Or if we've got it back yet, or...
It has been delivered up there and everything. I'm assuming from what the bid actually said at the beginning, this week or next week, it should be finished and be returning to Fulton.
Do we have an estimated time?
Pardon?
Estimated time for delivery? Or?
I can call tomorrow and find out. I have not checked.
And while the fire truck was out there, they found some additional stuff that needed fixed, so we're going ahead and taking care of that stuff at the same time.
And also, I'd like to, while he's there, just commend him on the good job they did on the brush truck. It's fantastic looking.
Thank you, sir.
Looks good.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if not, we'll move on to resolutions. Resolution number 3249 is a resolution that authorizes the mayor to request reimbursement from the state for work that our utility departments are doing out at their new construction site. Councilman Cannell, would you like to present that resolution, please?
Yes, sir. Resolution 3249, a resolution authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Fulton, Missouri, to sign all necessary documents in relation to the state of Missouri, a memorandum of understanding pertaining to the reimbursement of funds to the city of Fulton, Missouri for utilities, labor, and other resources relating to the construction project of the new Fulton State Hospital. I move we adopt this resolution.
Second.
Very good. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. Is Darrell, do you want to address this, or you want to address it? Okay.
The city of Fulton is doing an extensive amount of work to assist the state in the construction of the new state hospital. We've been working out there. We're doing a lot of electric improvements, water improvements, natural gas improvements, and the state is requiring a memorandum of understanding, this agreement, before they want to pay us back. And so Darrell and his crews have come up with cost estimates on everything that they think they're going to need done. It's about $920,000. This agreement will allow cost overruns to go up to about $1 million. And if the reimbursements exceed $1 million, then we're going to have to do another little contract. But right now, I think from what I heard, most of the cost estimates were even actually a little over the actual. So, but this is going to allow us, this agreement's going to allow us to get reimbursed.
Is that what this paper is?
Yes.
Okay.
The only question that we might call them, again, it's not a done deal. This has been actively negotiated and discussed over the past week. If you look on the front page of the agreement, down on number 2A, we're just kind of wondering how picky they're going to be on the time of the work that we're doing. They like 10 o'clock in the morning. What's the specificity of the time? And even one of our projects out there might be 2 weeks long. Can we just say June? You know what I mean? So we're gonna make a call tomorrow and ask them about that one little sentence, and if we can get clarification, or if they just, if we all reading it the same way, that June is close enough.
Or dates.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna be good.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, how are we keeping up with how much time we're spending out there?
We should just mark it down and fill it out.
Daryl's coming.
Ah, the man.
As far as the time, the crews are keeping up with what people are out there each day and what equipment. So we do have that logged. But it would be a lot of paper to send to them. Because we're keeping up with that. Then we're writing the material charges out, and then we take the personnel that's actually on the job and send that to Kathy. And then Kathy figures the labor bill on it. So that's, and from us talking to him earlier, they want to build once a month. So I'm thinking the monthly deal probably will be fine.
Is it the same for everybody, or do you have variable amounts for the type of labor that you're doing?
She looks up each individual name.
Who out there is authorizing us to do that, or are we doing it? I mean, I guess I don't.
We started on this last spring, working with the engineers and the architects. And we supplied them plans and outlines of what we would like to do, and then the architects and the state approved what we was doing. And they're the ones that requested on Wood Street, the state did, one that buried for aesthetics.
So it's not the general contractor
No,
out there?
no,
Okay.
we are dealing straight with the state.
That's what I was getting more.
No,
concerned
we're dealing
with.
straight
Okay.
with the state.
Okay, any other questions? Very good. I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good, thank you. We'll proceed on with that one then. That's all of the resolutions we have for this evening. You do have in your packets, looks like we do not have any ordinances. You do have in your packets the monthly report of the Director of Administration. Department heads are with us this evening. If you have any questions of them, please bring them forward at this time.
Move for acceptance.
Second.
Very good, thank you. I have a motion and a second to accept the reports, Director of Administration report. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Okay, thank you. Looks like the Human Rights Commission met on January the 13th. That report is in your packet. Is there any questions we might be able to answer for you? Or we can find out for you? If not, we'll go on to the utility board met yesterday. And again, Councilman Vaughn, you have a report from that meeting for us?
On the utility board, I'm sorry, I was at a doctor's appointment. I was unable to attend.
The majority of the discussion on the utility board pertained around the electronic incentive that the council just discussed. Other than that, they went over the monthly report.
So I think we do have a new member on that board, and they were present and so forth, so that all went real well. And the overall recommendation that came out of that, you all acted on earlier, so thank you. We'll now go, I do not have any appointments this evening. Announcements. Again, just a general reminder, tomorrow evening is the Central Division of the MML meeting here at the new Public Facilities Complex. Please, if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I also announce at this time, in April, the city will undergo its financial audit for the year. And every year I attempt to let the public know that that's going to happen. And if you have any concerns that you would like to take to the auditor, again, I invite you to contact me and our Ms. Holslag. And we will make sure that you get an audience with the auditors. Again, that applies to anyone in the community. So if you wouldn't mind mentioning that in your article also, you're the quickest way for us to get that type of information out, Taylor. So thank you. So that's, and looks like we're going to have a legislative conference on the 9th and the 10th. If any of you would like to go to that, please let the clerk know by tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, and I think I've heard from most everybody, but I'll just kind of touch base with everyone.
I'm not.
Okay. And then actually, Councilman Vaughn has asked me to announce the upcoming Kingdom of Callaway Historical Society President's Day Trivia Night. So we have some information on that, and I'm assuming that Mr. Vaughn is an expert on this event. So if you have any questions, you can talk to him.
Is.
Oh, okay. Or Mr. Hackman, you can touch base with him as well. So I think that's it.
Very good, thank you. And that's all the announcements that I know of. Anything from anybody else? Okay. No, we do not have a need for an executive session, so.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. I've got a motion for adjournment. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Very good. Thank you for your attendance.
Well, we asked any questions.
We're home to work tomorrow.